Legg with Julie Legg Photography, and I am sitting at my desk with a kitty sleeping on my lap and a crock pot in the kitchen cooking up some pork butt to make some delicious tacos. And it's a cool spring day outside, and I have this photo that I took recently. I don't know what kind of flower this is, but it is a vining branch. I wanted to see if I could show you the whole thing. I think I took some shots of the whole thing. Well, I don't see it here. Anyway, but it, you can see it just vines out all over the place. It vines up vertically and horizontally. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous plant. So where was I? Here I am. So I thought it would be fun to give a little tutorial here about how I processed it. And this little doodad up here, it's the screw into the stone wall that's holding and guiding the branches so that they can shape them and to grow in the right direction. And so I want to take that out, and there might be some of you out there who aren't familiar with some retouch techniques. And it's something I do a lot of, and so I thought I would share that. And so the first thing I did is a few changes. This I actually accidentally shot in a JPEG format, and I always shoot in RAW. And as I've said before, when you shoot in JPEG, basically your camera is doing all of the processing of the things over here in the panel on the right side. And it's doing all the basic stuff, the curves, it's doing the color temperature, the contrast. And so the camera does it for you, whereas in RAW you get to do it yourself. The camera does not process it. But you can still reprocess again with a JPEG file. You just don't have as much latitude as you do in a RAW file. It is amazing the latitude you get with a RAW file. So enough about that. So I just did a few things, and I cropped it a little. Not much. I just wanted to straighten out, if you look over here, I just wanted to straighten out some of these lines and stuff. I was shooting freehand without a tripod, so I didn't have everything square, but you don't always have to have that. So I came up with this, and then I wanted to put on a preset from Kim, and I ended up with, I believe this is the one, I ended up with Toucha, a little Toucha, there we go, preset Toucha. And then I just played around in the curves, because as you can see, as I click on these, I wanted that kind of washed out look, but with a little bit of contrast. And there's just a real fine line, and I still have detail in my highlight areas. It's not blown out. So it just creates a really soft pastel look, and that's what I liked. And for now I'm going to go with this. I could do more. Every time you look at it, you think you want to tweak it again. Sometimes it's best to just get up and walk away and then come back after half an hour, and something will jump out at you and you can fix it. Or if you sit down and you just love it, and you got it right on the first time. So now I'm going to go into Photoshop and edit, and here I already had one in here. Well, I'm going to put my new one in because I made some new edits. I don't want to get them mixed up, so this one is 4160-2, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Don't save. And 4160-2. Okay, that's the one I want to use. And so what I always do, if you look over here at the background in the panel, the layers panel, I Command J and always make a new layer. In case you mess up, you always have a good layer. And I'm just going to use, I always start off with the stamp tool. And I hold Command and the space bar, and that makes the magnifying glass come up. And the only thing that could give me a little bit of trouble is the fact that there is a little corner right here. Otherwise, I could just take a piece of this up here and just put it right here. I still might be able to do that, but it could, what I could do is go ahead and use my stamp tool, and if you look up here, it gives you the opacity, and of course I want it to be at 100%, flow 100%, everything at default. And so I'm going to start just right here and line up those lines and just fill it in so that the corner doesn't really play any role, any part now that I've fixed it. It was, see, that little green piece of plastic was hovering over the line right there, so I fixed that, so I should just be able to go in. You can still use the stamp tool, but I'm going to show you something else just to give you another idea. Is I'm just going to use that polygon tool here. It's under the lasso tool, and I'm just going to just randomly draw out something about the size of what I have down below, and then I'm going to do a Command J again, get my move tool, and there's that piece. I'm just going to move it down, and quite often this happens where the lighting up here is completely different than down here. But let's just play with it and see if we can make it work. It's a little bit small, so you can Command T to transform it and cover that up so that works. And another thing you can do while you're on this layer of just this one little piece that you grabbed, you can get a levels in this. If you can just clip it to that layer, and then you can play around with the lighting to see if it will blend in. Sometimes I surprise myself. This one is sort of blending in when I pull in the dark end, but it's not blending in very well. So, oh, that's helping. See how that's kind of blending in? Okay, so I've got that. Click back onto this layer, and you can put a mask on it and get a brush. And the mask is white, so I need it to be black if I'm going to make changes that show. I'm going to put this to, if you type the number 7, that will make your brush 70%. I'm just going to smooth that off. And just kind of smooth it out and see if I can blend it in. Now you can see some of that green tape, plastic tape, is showing through, so I'm going to hit the letter X, and that changes me back to white so I can paint back in here. I'm going to change the size of my brush. And so I've got that, and it's close. Let me Command E to merge all of this onto this layer. And I can click off and on, and you can see the work I've done so far. Let's take the stamp tool, and let's see if we can blend this in a little better. Make sure it's at 100%, and just go over that. And I see a little, just blending everything in. You're just, you can always put it to a lower opacity, and that will blend. You're just blending in areas, trying to make it so that the eye doesn't just jump right there like there's something wrong there. Just blending it in. So now that part looks good, but this part, there's obviously an abrupt change of light there. That's not natural. But I'm just going to take my stamp tool and I'm going to put it to 70. I'm going to grab this up here and just blend in some more. Then grab down here. Let's go a little lower to 50 opacity. It's just like being an artist. You just have to blend things in that look good to your eye. So if I pull back out, that's pretty natural, not too bad. I think this is a little bit dark in there, so I'm just going to pull from here. That's a little bit much. I'm going to go down to 30% on my stamp tool. And let's see, do I go over here and see if I like that change or not? Yep, that's okay. You can get too picky with it sometimes. That's easy to do. So I go in, I just click it on and off. You can see the change, and I think that's very acceptable. Alright, so thanks for dropping by, and I hope that was helpful, and y'all have a great day.